Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your new favorite pop culture podcast YouTube channel where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. And as always, this is a spoiler show, so you have been warned.
Good job. It's just like playing an instrument or doing a monologue. Just keep going.
I don't know why it came back. Like, I don't know where.
I don't either.
So on today's episode, we're going to have a conversation about Fantastic Beasts, the Secrets of Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Oops.
Correct. 3 points to Hufflepuff.
Okay, at the outset, I think we can say we all agree JK Rowling is trash. I would also like to say that we didn't technically pay for this movie because we pay for Regal Unlimited, so...
I don't think it's that serious.
I'm trying to make myself feel better.
I mean, she just is involved in it. Yeah. It's like... my thing is that the wizarding world is that Harry Potter is big, has outgrown her. I mean, pick a innovative artist in history and I'll tell you some problematic things about them.
Also,
so I'm just sort of fine to move past her.
Yeah.
I was actually very passionate about the Fantastic Beasts franchise.
The first one's so good.
I liked the old timey part of it. I like that it's not fucking kids. I like that it was adults. I like that it was a little bit darker and it was a little bit sexier and it was a little bit like, I don't know. I was really into it. I liked our four characters. Like I really loved the first one. I tolerated the second one in the hopes that they were going somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think my biggest issue is we're 3 movies in and each one feels like a soft reboot.
Yeah.
So I just I don't know anything and I care even less.
This was meant to be like a 5-movie situation. The more that she opens her mouth and that seemingly every third actor involved really steps in it some way as well.
What is happening with Ezra Miller?
I don't know.
It's really weird.
I have no idea because I think he's really good at his job.
I
just don't really understand. Also, apparently I was reading the trivia. This is like neither here nor there, but apparently Johnny Depp did start filming for this and he has something in his contract that he has to get his entire salary regardless. So he got paid $16 million to not be in this movie. I just that's the other thing is everything about these productions is so messy. So messy.
I was trying so hard to be on this movie's side and I think people are doing too much. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen, not by a long shot. It's perfectly watchable if erring a little bit on the boring and or pointless side.
Yeah, because that's my main issue is at this point with everything JK Rowling is throwing away with both hands, are we even going to get 2 more of these movies?
Well, no.
And if so, what are they even going to look like?
Well, I sort of feel like this movie, it
doesn't prove the need for its own existence, in my opinion. And further to that, we talked about it a little bit after the movie on the way home. I don't understand who is allowing her to write these screenplays. Writing a book is so different than writing a screenplay. In a book, you have to tell everything. You can't really show stuff because it's a medium of words, written words. But she is writing these screenplays as though they are books. So people are walking around stating their directives to each other in a way that is so annoying.
Well, and it makes me
boring.
It makes me feel like I keep looking for the subtext, or I keep looking for like I keep thinking we're playing 3D chess and we're not. I do not understand Queenie's arc.
That was our big mistake, is we didn't rewatch the first 2 before
which I thought about.
This.
I've seen the first one a good 5-6 times. I only saw the second one once, and if I'm being completely honest, that's very telling because I rewatch movies. And so me sitting here trying to champion this movie, and I couldn't even be bothered to watch the second one.
So
again,
I have just so many here's the things about this franchise, because I also I'm not going to get into the Johnny Depp of it all in a real way, but like I actually love Johnny Depp as an actor prior to like Pirates of the Caribbean 3. I think he was absolutely the worst choice they could have made for Grindelwald. It's just a stunt cast for no reason, for the sake of a stunt cast.
We had a perfectly good Colin Farrell.
We really did. And then blessedly, Mads Mikkelsen
I like Mads way
is
better.
like very good, but it's like, so then you have the whole Crimes of Grindelwald movie, which by the way, so he had crimes and now we've got the Dumbledore Secrets in which the crimes of Grindelwald are just wiped completely off the board.
Well, and also he committed like 2 crimes in the Crimes of Grindelwald. Because he didn't even kill that family. His minions did.
Yeah.
Remember?
Well, he's very like a Charles Manson-y type of dude.
But it's like, that's a bold name.
Yeah.
That it writes a check with its lips. It can't cash with its ass. It's an inside joke.
And so there's just so much stuff where I'm like, okay, he committed these like atrocities so that he has secluded himself at this castle in the middle of nowhere while he is still trying to take over the world. It's just Byzantine in a way that
I don't understand what it's about.
That's the thing.
I don't understand what it's. I mean, I get the broad strokes. I get Magic Hitler. Like I can tell who's good and who's bad because it's not subtle.
Yeah, but
I don't understand the motivations or the because there's.
He's also only Magic Hitler because of the time period. Because do you know who else is Magic Hitler? Voldemort. I simply don't understand. It's just so crazy.
Well, so also, what are the secrets of Dumbledore? That he's gay? Is that the secret?
Yeah, like we knew for 15 years already.
So what were
gay.
the secrets? Like,
well, nobody knows about his family and like, and
because why does it matter? Why does Albus like? What is that? Other than being like an Easter egg, what does that matter? Like, why does it matter? Spoilers. Did we say that part?
No. Well, you said it's a spoiler show.
What does it matter that Credence is Albus's son?
Credence is Aberforth's son.
Or that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It doesn't. And also, it's bullshit because it's not already established in the Harry Potter books. And I'm furious.
Well, that by that same logic, Scream 3 doesn't make any sense because I don't really. I haven't read the books.
Scream 3 is a sequel, not a prequel.
Well, it's a trilogy.
Because whatever. Sure. All of the things about Albus's family, about Ariana and Aberforth, those things are.
Did we know that Dumbledore killed her?
It was he didn't. It's like yes.
Okay.
I don't know that they established it in the movies, but
I remember it being loaded. Like I remember it being very heavy, but I don't.
Because she's the portrait that takes them
to Hogwarts.
School. So I don't know. I guess I don't really think that Credence should even still be in this at this point. I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I felt mostly nice watching this movie. It's lovely to see Hogwarts. The James Newton Howard score is amazing. Lots of stuff. Jude Law's Dumbledore is a really fascinating character study.
It.
And Mads Mikkelsen's Grindelwald is incredible. And them playing off each other was next level. Like, I'd like them to be in something else that's written well together. But I just don't. I said it before. I don't think this movie proved the case for his existence. Because I jumped off into this whole thing because you were asking about Queenie, because I don't understand her arc either. And that was where I was going, where I was like, I've only seen the second one once, and I didn't rewatch it for this, which was probably a mistake. But I think we talked about it, and I remember thinking it was just not explained properly in the movie either, where it's like, she's, first of all, brainwashing Jacob, which is a crime. And then he cons onto it and he's like, we can't just get married. You did a trick on me and that's not cool. No. And then she's just immediately with Johnny Depp and you're like, why?
So I was hoping that the third movie would explain a lot of that stuff. And we like come into this movie with her sort of immediately regretting everything. And she's very adamant that she can't do anything about it.
Because there's also been like, it's only been one total year since the first movie within the world, which also feels crazy.
it opens with this like really I kind of couldn't get it. What did you say they were called?
Chillins.
I couldn't get over the chillins. And it's like, and that's weirdly kind of what I was praising the franchise for, was not being for children.
Yeah.
But it's so mean. Also,
you wouldn't know this movie's not for children based on the trailers that we saw.
I mean, I don't think children are like clamoring to it looks dour.
Well, yeah, but the trailers were like 90% dumb animated karate animal.
Because there's not many Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah. There's the chillin' and then the weird bird thing at the beginning. The Niffler is around and the Bowtruckle is still there. But it's also like, at this point, they feel to me like Johnny Depp and the Pirates of the Caribbean thing, where like they have diminishing returns for me. The Niffler and the Bowtruckle, Teddy, and I forget the Bowtruckle's name. But I'm just sort of like, oh, and then those fucking things. Don't even.
It was like a crab, a scorpion, and a spider.
So I saw that somebody compared it to a blast-ended Scroot, which is like a thing in the 4th book when Hagrid finally starts teaching care of magical creatures.
I wish there was a few more like actually graspable creatures, and I said this for all 3 of them, where I was like, I feel like they're a little too sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I want something, because like I was like, oh, is the thing in that hole dungeon hole like Manticore? And I was and
no, but then one of its arms like squiggled into the Black Lake, and I was like, is that the giant squid? Is that gonna like evolve into the giant squid somehow?
Because I didn't understand that entire set piece either.
No,
because it was like, so there's my second. So my first is that it's poorly written. It's all plot, no actual scenes, and there's so many characters, and I don't know why. There's too many characters, and I'm a little bit trained at this point, 3 in, to sort of not bother with new characters because the old ones don't matter. So why would these new ones? Like, why? What happened? What was the purpose of Nagini or Lita? And like, furthermore, what is the purpose of Lita's brother in this movie? He did nothing in this movie.
Well, he did end up turning back.
They didn't need that.
But yeah. Well, and that's the same thing for me with
but how did that happen? Because Grindelwald took his memory of his sister.
I don't know. But he didn't take the memories that he was helping Dumbledore.
Okay. So he just made it easier for him to betray him?
I have no idea. Because that's the other thing is I don't for Theseus, Callum Turner's character, I don't understand the point of putting him in that prison.
No, they like, yeah.
There's no sense to it except for to introduce those disgusting little things.
Well, because they needed the huge one. They needed Eddie Redmayne to do a funny dance because he does it in every movie.
Like 100 other ways we could have done a funny
dance. It was so weird. I didn't understand the purpose of the prison.
Yeah.
Because that thing seemed to be killing prisoners at random.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I just fully didn't understand any of that.
It was just like, well, I'm feeling like that one right now.
Well, the firefly would go out, and then it would sting the person, bring their corpse down, swallow them, and then regurgitate it. Yeah. So it was like all acidy for the little ones to eat. I didn't. I didn't.
We both almost vomited.
Yeah. Well, so back to what I was saying. The movie starts with the chillins, and it's like, it actually made my stomach hurt.
Yeah.
Watching that scene. Yeah. Because it's a pregnant mother, and you get that it's special.
Yeah.
What's happening. And then fucking Credence and Vinda, that slag.
Fucking
if we know anything, it's that Poppy Corby Took is Vinda.
Well, you were gonna. How severe is my ponytail? Should have slicked it back. I have hair oil. I should have done it.
She shows up, and actually, I kind of loved her. You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Her whole vibe was like, her whole aesthetic
smirking
was great.
Whore.
Yeah, she been her dark lip, and yeah, but still.
But they show up and like brutally.
That really hurt my scalp.
Brutally kill this mother that's just had this baby.
Use a killing curse on her, and it takes more than one, and then she's still breathing later.
Like, after he's fallen off a cliff and climbed back up. So, like, hours, I guess. She's still breathing. enough for him to comfort her dying. And she managed tears.
Yeah.
Do animals weep? I don't know. It was.
She's magical, sure.
Like I said, it actually like I kind of got a stomach cramp because it was so much. It was so mean.
And then it turns out she had another baby, which is like sort of like 1/4 of the point of this movie is keeping this baby chillin' alive.
And it's so precious. Like it's so and so they establish
brand new baby deer. Yeah.
They establish this mythos that it can
like sense the true of heart.
Yeah, like it can tell if people are good, and if someone is truly good, it will bow to them. And so they set this up with it loving Jacob. And so we're like, oh, okay, that checks. He's one of the few remaining pieces of this train that are still on the tracks.
Yeah. Because even like, so that's the thing for me is the one thing in these movies that does not have diminishing returns for me is actually the entire character of Newt Scamander. I think he's actually still a very
I would love to watch a movie about him with beasts, with finding fantastic beasts.
But I will also say that Jacob Kowalski is one of the characters that does not have diminishing returns for me because he does the same thing in this one that he does in the first one where he drinks the giggle water and it makes him just sort of burst out laughing. And it's funny. He does, because it's a little
He was really
different.
good with the kids in Hogwarts.
Oh my God, adorable. He gets a little, God, okay, that was the other thing though. It was like 9 or 1,000 times in this movie, someone says something and then the person questions it and they're like, well, not really, but exactly yes, what you just said. Because he like gets a wand and Jacob is asking Newt and it's like, oh, is this real? And he goes, well, sure. It doesn't have a core
though.
But it's real. And I was like, so it's not real. So it's just a piece of wood. It's just a stick of wood.
He said, so there was another word he said. So I wondered if it was like the thing with the Vila hair where it was like, it's not a sanctioned or it's not like there was another word he said and I needed subtitles.
Magic at any point. No.
Oh, was it a feather?
Lally was doing that whole thing.
Oh, that sequence was because there was a handful of action sequences that the special effects were not needed. They actually detracted from both times that Dumbledore, when he faced up against Credence and when he faced up against Grindelwald, they go to this like
Mind
weird
palace thing.
And it tamped
because
down.
You know what else it diminishes for me is that end scene in the Deathly Hallows Part 2 where Harry goes to the Mind Palace with Dumbledore, and I'm just sort of like, so you just go to the Mind Palace whenever you feel like it. I'm also very curious. This is not necessarily a complaint, but I'm very curious at what point in time did Dumbledore lean all the way into the wizard clothes? Because he's still wearing really nice tailored suits in this movie. I'm just very curious.
The same time that Ewan McGregor turned into Sir Alec Guinness.
Sure. Fair enough.
Wibbly wobbly. But I was going to say that big set piece with Lally and Jacob where she was doing the magic and it was like a special effects extravaganza. That was one of the few times that I thought the special effects were like warranted and actually thrilling.
Sure.
I was like, oh, I'm loving this one thing.
There were also a couple nice flourishes in there where like more than one character like grabbed a falling glass and put it back on the tray. It just really struck me. That was pretty funny.
So back to the chillin'. So they established this thing with Jacob. It doesn't pay off, and the opposite of pays off twice in other ways. What is this? Our word for
it's like I keep on thinking of the trailer for Nope, where Daniel Kaluuya is like, what's a bad miracle? Is there a word for that? Because I've been having feelings like that a lot where I'm like, what's a word for this specific thing? Like the opposite of what we're looking for.
There was a lot of coming from you. This entire experience was a lot of, oh.
Yeah.
Well, they answered my question, but they made it worse with the answer.
It's
so regardless, fucking Vinda takes the one baby to Grindelwald and then he just like very brutally kills it. This infant deer basically slits its throat. We watch it bleed out like pool of blood.
So that he can kind of see the future, but then the blood is not needed for him to see the future. He's just seeing the future in any reflective surface the entire time.
And so then he takes it time has passed, as you pointed out.
Days at least.
If not weeks have passed. He takes it into a pool where he's also fully clothed.
Come on, Mads. No, this is not a Mads thing. Mads didn't make that decision. Mads would have gone for it.
And then like brings it back to life, I guess, because Byzantine. So he's like,
because he's basically enchanting it so that it will bow
to
for
him to prove that he's good, because he was on trial for his crimes, and then
the German minister.
We go to Berlin. There was a lot of rowdy Germans. I was something about a lot of rowdy Germans in this time period really sets me on edge.
Anton Vogel, played by Oliver Muscucci, who was great. He was very slimy, and he's got the perfect face.
He was like the wizard prime minister of Germany.
German minister of magic.
Okay, and there's like an election happening between a woman and a man, and so
but it's for this even higher, because it's like every country has a minister for magic, or the equivalent, like a president or whatever, but then there's this like overarching government over top of that we've literally never heard of before, and this is for that. It's an election for that.
Okay.
And so he is basically, I don't know what his actual purpose was, except for that he was the one who basically was like, we need to let Grindelwald in on the election.
Well, but it was like a Pontius Pilate thing where, because you were like, bingo.
Did not expect that on my Secrets of Dumbledore.
Because Newt is like, I have a message for you from Dumbledore. He wants you to do the right thing, not the easy thing. Yeah. And the German guy's like, ha, 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 got it. And so then they just like clear Grindelwald of all his crimes, and then put him in the race, in the election. And so the German minister of magic was like, too many people like him. If we condemn him, it was that thing where it's like, we'll make a martyr out of him.
Yeah.
So we're better off letting him run and letting the people decide.
It was feeling real Trumpy.
But I couldn't tell. So I was like, so then you don't want him? Like, was it that he thought he wouldn't win?
Yeah. Well,
then what was with all the mustache twirling?
So that's the thing, is like, I don't know how much Vogel was just then mouthpiecing what he thought other people wanted to hear, and he actually wanted Grindelwald in charge,
because that's the way the actor was acting.
Yeah,
but then his logic checked out.
Byzantine, because also he did in that sense not end up doing what was easier, because it became so hard to like get this all going, and then you have to rely on the whims of a baby animal to like decide who's going to
and
be.
Every wizard
who voted immediately
through magic Zoom. You took issue with that. I was fine with it. It was just like billowing curtains that were showing them what was happening.
Yeah, but it's like never existed before.
Is it really any different than like the wanted posters?
Yes.
Because those are recorded.
That's just a photograph.
So it's the live telecast part.
Yes! In the 1940s?
So they were recording it and shipping it around. What's magic? It's like...
It's magic that has never existed in the wizarding world before that we've seen. They don't have movies. They listen to the radio in the 90s. That is their entertainment, is listening to the radio. And you're telling me that we have had live simulcast since
So
the
in the fourth movie, they're going to actually explain
what happened,
what that was, and why we no longer do it, because it allowed for this to happen.
It's like Dune, where like they exist in it's like post a war with AI.
Kind of. We haven't even talked. So I kind of liked Lally.
Yeah, she was great.
It's Jessica Williams.
She was great. Her character was a lot of fun. She wears an amazing gold dress, but boy, she swung for the fences with that accent. I mean, she stayed in it the whole time, which is also I'm here for it. But she was the only one. Not even Tina or Queenie talk like that, and they're from America as well.
Sure.
They all live in New York.
Well, because also convoluted, because like her whole ploy to get Jacob in the beginning, it hinged on a lot of like not coincidence, but a lot of things just going to plan.
Yeah.
Because she like basically gets her cousin.
No, they're like other Aurors, I think.
I thought she said cousin.
Well, one of them I think was her cousin,
Okay.
but the one she knocked down I think was another Auror.
So she makes them pretend to be sexually harassing her
at the bus station.
But on top of that, she's like handling the shit out of it. So it's like there's no real need for a white knight because she's handling it so well.
Yeah.
But Jacob white knights anyways. And she like punches the guy. And then she's like, Jacob shows up and she's like, just kidding. Like, I don't know. It was really, I was like, she could have just knocked on the door. Like we could have.
So I want to say that no one in this movie is doing what is easy versus what is right. They are always doing the right thing that is also hard.
So I also
or
really
the wrong thing.
Really like it was a Birdie. Bunty. I really liked her in the first movie, but it's like, or the second movie rather.
I don't remember her at all.
You will once you see it. She was his like assistant with the hippo camp, and she like was in
she is in love with him.
Yeah. Because we were like,
very
Newt
obvious.
was like drowning in pussy in the second one. Remember?
Because Leto was around too. That's right. That's right. I do remember that.
And so, but she's got like one scene in the second one, and the movie takes on faith that you're gonna remember her.
Yeah.
And I did, because the actress was very charming.
Yeah, her name is Victoria Yates.
Going all the way to the end though, the fact that she's like there in the crowd in like the shroud.
Yeah.
I was like, it felt like it meant more than I think it did.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Like that felt like a huge reveal.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because she also keeps
so
on,
the person who was part of the plan the whole time was part of the plan? Like that was the reveal?
And she says it more than once to Newt in the movie where she's like, not everyone can know everything. And I'm like, yeah, that's the way a 3-card Monty works. Like, I don't know. It's just like not 100%.
Well, and then there was like a weird assassination attempt.
On
the girl, the female.
Vicencia Santos.
So I liked her a lot. I liked her look. I miss Carmen.
Yeah, I thought she was in this.
I thought she was too.
I thought I saw her on something.
Again, they keep introducing things that I'm like, I would love to watch a movie about this if only they would let it actually happen.
Yeah.
Because it's like, seriously, it's like every single one of the movies we're introduced to 12 people, 3 or 4 of whom have any impact whatsoever. And even that doesn't matter because their motives are going to be radically shifted in between movies.
Because in this movie, there is literally no weirdness or stiltedness or awkwardness or anything with Newt and Theseus. They just are brothers that love each other. Whereas like Theseus was a hard antagonist in the first movie.
Second, he's not in the first one.
Yeah, he is.
I don't remember him being in the first one.
Oh, I swear he was. Maybe I'm wrong. Regardless, at one point, he's a hard antagonist.
Well, I liked him a lot, but it's also all he really accomplishes is giving us a second, slightly more conventionally attractive Newt.
Yeah.
Like it's just doubling a character, and one of them's more boring, I guess. I don't know. I liked him, but because he almost had a thing with Lally.
Yeah.
But then also it was like, she was like flirting with Jacob.
But then I thought she was also weirdly with Tina at the end.
You did think that. She said they worked together.
Okay.
But they do a lot of things together.
They were extremely holding hands. And then I also don't understand. Because
does Jessica Williams act? I know her as a Daily Show correspondent.
She acts a little.
Okay. I mean, she was good.
Because that's the other thing is I hate to break it to everybody. I don't know what they're going to do, especially now that, everything is happening. But Newt and Tina get married. They are a couple.
Hmm?
Newt and Tina, they are together. They get married.
In
the history of
Newt and Tina are in the
yeah.
I thought they were created for this.
No, because Luna marries his grandson, Rolf.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just sort of like, I know they're estranged because apparently Catherine Waterston wanted out of this movie after all of the JK Rowling
I don't know
stuff.
how much I think a lot of that's conjecture.
I was trying to look it up on like
too,
articles and stuff, but
what I saw was saying it was COVID stuff.
I just don't know why they're so estranged. It feels bonkers. It's so awkward because even in the second one, it was so awkward every time they had screen time together. Like they were strangers again and didn't know. I don't know. It's very odd. I don't get it.
Like I said, each movie feels like a reboot.
Exactly.
And so it's like.
And he's just got pictures of her everywhere. And I don't know.
This should be such a slam dunk.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if I finished making all my points. I know I didn't because I didn't get to the dead chillin'.
Oh.
Like, the golem of the chillin' or whatever because
Yeah.
he resurrects it. And it just looks.
It doesn't look right. It's grayer because the chillin' is
you
actually
talk
kind
so
of
many
brown.
of them just look ill.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we were talking about.
The Grindelwald followers just look kind of like sickly and like they don't get enough sunshine.
Because they try to kill the female candidate and then Jacob goes after Grindelwald and then everyone's like, he's an assassin? And nothing comes of it. It was just very strange, that like assassination attempt in which they just sort of shrugged. And because again, I don't fully understand Credence's part because he's meant to kill Dumbledore, I guess, because Dumbledore and Grindelwald can't kill each other.
Because they have this like blood troth was what they called it.
It matters to not. They both do magic and it falls off his wrist. So, I mean, it does nothing.
It's just a little MacGuffin.
Yeah, it does that because they even said he was like, literally Dumbledore was like, yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
He was like, I tried to do protective magic and he tried to do harmful magic and it just burst. I'm like, cool, I guess. And then Grindelwald does the Cruciatus curse at Jacob and fucking,
But also the woman, she undid it.
Yeah.
Is that?
I have no idea because it shouldn't have even still been going after Grindelwald started doing something else. You have to keep meaning it.
Because I was like,
happen.
if any wizard can just undo a Cruciatus, then what does it matter? It's just like it hurts for, I don't know. It felt weird that she just undid it and then so she wins and then they usher her off. And then.
Well, okay, no. She doesn't just win because first, the alive chillin'.
So, well, sure.
They like bring out the actual one that's still alive after Vogel is lifting up the corpse of the dead one that meanwhile has just been walking around in a circle in the background.
Like it hit its head.
Because it's dead. And so the alive one, they go and they bring it out and the creature that can sense and bows to the pure of heart walks his ass right up to Dumbledore and bows. I beg your unbelievable pardon.
Because Dumbledore's like a shady bitch.
Shady bitch, for sure.
Now, I'm in like a he did what needed to be done sort of way.
Well, to a point. And then he did some stuff just for funsies.
I don't know. I guess granted, we love us a complicated.
Sure. And I guess granted, I can't. It's sort of in a Moon Knight way. He can't be mad about the things he hasn't done yet in the timeline. So like whatever. But then he basically is like, no, find someone else, and it finds the what did I say her name was? Vicenza or something.
Oh, did it bow to her?
It bowed to her as well.
That feels.
And so they chose her, and then everybody votes immediately by shooting up the sigil of the person.
Fickle group of motherfuckers. They 180.
No wonder they all keep getting taken over by evil wizards. They're so fucking stupid.
So gullible. Well, so you didn't mention, because the part was that, would you say Vogel is like holding up the like golem chillin'?
He's like, this is the real one. And then it's like,
and then we watch it die again. It just sort of like expires. So he's like dangling this limp dough body. Like, it was terrible.
Horrible.
Terrible.
I'm laughing, but it's horrible. It's truly horrible.
And so then...
Blessedly, no people die in this one. Although Credence is apparently... That's the thing for...
What was the whole mirror thing? Like...
I don't...
He was writing Forgive Me to his father?
Who didn't know about him. Aberforth didn't know
or
about
that
him.
he was doing bad shit,
or that he even existed or anything. And so then
and he was like, I want to come home, and I was like, you don't know what home is.
Yeah, and then he at the end when like Aberforth is like there with him and he's like, did you think about me? And I was like, he didn't know about you. Like this is an issue of your own making, because Grindelwald was like telling him like, you are a Dumbledore and they have cast you out and abandoned you. And I'm just like, ugh.
And what happened with the Phoenix? They like made a stink about it.
Well, I think it's Fox.
Okay.
I think it's Dumbledore's. I think it's going to be Dumbledore's.
It like
Phoenix,
gets ash on like Dumbledore's face.
Grindelwald's face.
Oh, well, and then Dumbledore like smudges it, and then it's like
Credence.
Does it matter?
I mean, I don't know. The thing,
because that felt so heavy. That felt like it was like major symbolism, and I was
Dumbledore
like,
said it was following him around because he's like going to die. And I think it's because of his like obscurialness or whatever, but like that should have already killed him when he turned into a full obscurial in the first movie. I don't know. I don't understand. That's the thing, is like it's probably her. It's probably JK Rowling. She's just playing fast and loose with these rules that she set up, and it's going against, and it's like, there was that one thing going around where it's like, JK Rowling needs to shut up about her characters, because it's like, I don't care about these things anymore. The next thing we know is we're going to find out that like Dobby's into foot stuff and Hagrid has some weird fetish. And I'm just like, I don't need to know all of these things. And so now it's just like, you've set precedents for things already, and now you're going back and doing. So that's totally what the chillin'
with Dumbledore felt like to me. It was like the franchise's way of trying to save face with like gay shit.
Well, I mean, they didn't. I thought I heard they cut it out of everything, but I guess they just cut it out for China, because he did have those 2 lines where he said, I fell in love with you.
He says it. It's there. Their meeting was one of the better scenes in the movie.
It was. I mean, the 2, Jude Law, I think he's one of those people that doesn't get enough credit.
I would love to watch a movie about Jude Law as Dumbledore.
McGonagall was in this movie too. Her name was Fiona Glasscott. She did pretty good, just for a minute, but I don't know. I find myself begging the question, like, what was the point of this?
Well, yeah, because after spending the entire movie insisting that she can't go back, Queenie goes back.
Yeah, and then she and Jacob just get married.
There was no one stood in her way. There was no, so they got married. She had a great wedding dress.
It was pretty fun. It was flouncy.
Queenie was, it's a very me take, but she was my favorite from the first movie.
Yeah.
And so, and that's the thing, is it's like, I wish that I liked the dark turn, but I wish it made sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make
because
sense.
Queenie had, in the first movie, when you meet her, there's a sadness or like a weird, it's almost like fucking Cassie from Euphoria.
Sure.
Where it's like she's so sweet and she feels very innocent and naive, but she's also just a little bit worldly in a way that catches you off.
Well, it's because she must have heard literally everything, and I think the sweetness
and she carries herself with that gift and burden.
And I think this sweetness and the innocent, the like projected innocence of her is in opposition to that. She's like trying to fight that with her sweetness and innocence, and then she just...
Because Allison does a lot of great work that is not on the page.
Not at all.
Like...
not even. Also, the guy who played Aberforth was Father Blackwood from Sabrina.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He was familiar to me, but...
Oh my God, one of those was a Zabini.
I don't know what that means.
He's one of Draco's friends. He's the one that ends up, because the one guy got fired for pot or whatever. He's the one that's in the room of requirement when it's on fire, the black one. Mm-hmm. And this guy is just credited as Zabini. Cool.
So the whole movie, I was like, I still would watch another one. I still want to know where we're going with this. I still have this weird belief that it will mean something.
But for cripe's sake, don't let her write it.
But, well, no, it's not going to happen. And also, then by the time it ended, I was like, well, now
maybe
what?
Not.
Because this is now the 3rd time in a row we've defeated him. So what, is he just going to come back again?
We have not defeated him because he still has the Elder Wand. He is
I mean, I guess, but it's like he didn't win this election. No. So it's sort of like, then let this new bitch, whoever she is, handle him. Because she could undo his Cruciatus curse.
That's not special. I don't think that's special.
And so that's going to matter in Fantastic Beasts 4, what precedent the previous movies and books have set.
No, I'm just saying I wouldn't get your hopes up about her being special in any way. If I had to guess, she won't exist in the fourth one.
That is the most likely, but my point is that it's like this movie, this series, that's precedence that it doesn't follow through on.
Yeah, I keep saying.
And so it ends with a wedding. There's just this like very normal wedding.
And Dumbledore is invited and doesn't go in.
Yeah, that was weird. And Tina's there and has a really nice moment with Lally.
I don't know, man. I think that's mostly it. I think we hit most of what we meant to. I'm with you. I'm just sort of like,
I was rooting for this. I was really rooting for this.
I didn't think
you did not.
I didn't. Oh my God, she's a Rosier. Okay, Vinda is. I like recognize all the names, and so it's Narcissa's maternal family.
I almost said she has Narcissa's nose.
Yeah,
she had the upturn.
That's Narcissa Black's. Or Narcissa
I literally almost said that
yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah, it's her maternal family. I just didn't think it was going to be very good, and knowing that she wrote it, it doesn't make me feel good either. And I don't know. I also just go fucking sit in your castle and shut your fucking mouth. Like, it's driving me crazy. So, but again, like I said, there were parts I really, Jacob is still fun as always. I really think Newt is a really fascinating character for a really big budget series of movies, but it just is all sort of for what. And they definitely, that if only they had cast Mads Mikkelsen from the start, because he's a way
because now
better.
I would want him to stay, but part of me is like, I don't know, just keep doing
just a new one, not just another new one. Jude Law plays both parts in the next movie. All right, well, I guess that's it. See it or don't. I'm not making a recommendation. Do what feels right for you.
Coming at this thing, it's such a moral quandary.
I don't want to support it, but I was a little bit with you where I have a desire to see how it turns out. You know what I mean? So whatever. Follow us on Twitter @soimwatching or Instagram @soimwatching this show. Like and subscribe. Leave us a comment if you feel like it. Let us know if you understood something that we didn't, because that'd be fine.
And if you're like, well, you guys, who are you? If you're so great, why don't you write your own book?
Hey, we did.
If you want to read Fairy Tale the book, it's about fairy tales, but it's not for kids.
There's gay stuff and a trans allegory in there. Do with that what you will.
There is.
Yeah. So, other than that, just like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.